Good morning, everyone. It is bright and early. Sun isn't even out all the way yet, so I apologize for the lighting. Last night, you saw that Max went so easy on me. He picked Spy Family Volume 1. I had no idea what the series was about, only that Hannah and Lochlyn were raving about it. And then my son actually brought these home from the library, and he was reading them very fast. So I started picking up these manga and putting them on our shelves. And so this manga is about this man who is known as Twilight. He is a spy, and his next mission that he has been given is get a wife, have a child, put your child in this private school, and the mission goes from there. Well, I just lost my breakfast because the cat shoved his head in it. This cat that we have, he's on my last nerve. I say that a lot. Anyways, so he gets this family. We have here that our man here is a spy, his new wife is an assassin and he doesn't know, and the kid that they get is a telepath and they don't know. And just right from page 1, I was hooked. Like, this is so much fun. I didn't get very far into it last night. I was super tired. It was like midnight on a Monday. But here's the like alternate cover. So you see like all his spy gear and stuff is behind him and they can't see. She's got these dead guys that they can't see. And then the little girl there knows all that's going on because she's a telepath and they don't know. Like, I just can't wait for these shenanigans. It's going to be a fast read. Like, I wasn't expecting them to go easy on me. And I was tempted to then get Wyatt and Emmett, my 2 other sons, to choose books right away. But I don't want to like psych myself out because there's some very big books on here and I have a feeling that the younger 2 are going to go in that direction. I don't know. Max wanted me to read this so that he could talk to me about it. We have 5 volumes, and then he wants me to read the 5 we have and then buy more so that we can both read them, which is fine. It's fun. I like now that my sons are getting older, like Max reads. Wyatt is a reading machine. He just turned 6 and he blows me away every day. I had to rip Throne of Glass away from him because he got to like a gory part. I didn't even know he had picked it up, but he was just sitting on the couch reading it out loud, like very quietly. I came in the living room and I was like, that is not appropriate for you. But he just reads everything he can get his hands on. So we're at a really fun stage. I'm going to drink my coffee, throw my breakfast away, and read a little bit before Emmett wakes up. I just got the other 2 off to school. Okay, I just finished mission 1. I'm now on to mission 2, and I am finding myself laughing all of the time. It's been so long since I've read a manga. I think the way these are written are just so funny. Like, he like yeets the girl off the couch and stuff, or like flings her in doorways. It's just, I'm having a great time. And also like the subject matter of like this cold-hearted spy needing to have like gain a wife and kids, and he has no idea what they're like, how to take care of a kid. So like he goes to the library and gets all of the parenting books he can find and is reading them and trying to learn like how to communicate with children. And it's just, I'm having a great time and I'll be able to finish this today. It has been raining for days on end and is going to continue to rain for more days on end. I feel like I get less reading done when it's really sunny outside because I'm outside like in my gardens and stuff. So this is the perfect time to be filming this video. Yeah, I just wanted to check in and tell you that this is so funny. I'm smiling the whole time. I'm laughing out loud. This was a great choice by Max. Okay, Emmett, can you pick a book for me off my book cart next?
Which one? Which one?
Which one do you want Mommy to read?
This one. This one.
Give me a book to read. Wow, thank you. This is a big one.
Yep, my boss.
Do you like this cover?
Yeah.
Good afternoon. I finished Spy Family Volume 1 and I gave it 5 stars. I had so much fun reading this. It was funny. I was smiling and laughing the whole time. Like, it was just a delight. I had a great time. I like the art style. I think it's funny. All of the good things. So I gave this 5 stars. Again, it was a very quick read. It's like 200 pages, but it's a manga. So I finished this pretty early on. I'm working on my required buddy read pages right now, but in the meantime, because Wyatt was at school, who's my middle son, I got Emmett to pick out the next book. I guess I could have waited for Wyatt, but I wasn't necessarily going in the order of my children. I guess it doesn't really matter. So I let Emmett choose the next book because he was home with me. Emmett picked a big one, but he picked Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. This is long overdue. I want to read this book so bad. This is a romance, quotation marks. It's very messy, toxic, between Magnolia and BJ. All of my favorite romance or fantasy romance booktubers love this series, the Magnolia Parks universe, and I did buy the first one. We're following Magnolia and BJ and their very messy, tumultuous relationship. Let's see, it is about 500 pages, so like I said, a bit of a chunkier guy. I think I'm gonna fly through this. Everyone seems to love it. A lot of the people I watch seem to love it. I shouldn't say everyone because I've definitely seen mixed reviews on Goodreads, which is what happens if I don't pick up a hyped book right away. It just happened with Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I read it like immediately as soon as it arrived at my door, read it and loved it. Like I was really riding the hype train. Same thing with Legendborn way back when. But with this, I was like listening to all the hype, nodding, yes, that sounds interesting, maybe I'll order it, waited a while. And by the time I actually got it in my hands, I saw a lot of mixed opinions from people I watch of like 1 and 2 stars. And then I go, now I'm too scared to read it. So I'm glad that Emmett picked it. I don't know if it was because it was like the first one on the edge of the book cart, or if he thought that the cover was kind of cool. Emmett is 3. I'm going to guess it was the cover, but I'm happy that he chose that. So once I get kind of going in that, maybe 150 pages or so, I will give you an update on how I'm feeling. All right, we went to the library today, so there are some extra books that have been added to the book cart. We are still very full. Wyatt has decided he would like to pick his book now, even though Emmett just picked one, so I haven't finished Emmett's pick quite yet, but now Wyatt. So see all these books in the front? On any of the 3 levels, you can pick one book that I'm going to read this month. I'm going to read Emmett's first and then your book next. So you can have a look at the covers, you can have a look at the titles. You might have to remove some of the shorter ones to tip it out. Is this your pick? Mm-hmm. Okay, Wyatt would like for me to read The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi.
Please, I want you to read this book.
I should read this one. You already picked one, buddy. I'll read this one soon, okay?
Yeah. Mega with the hair. Mega have you need that.
I'm now realizing that each of the kids picked a first book in a series. So we will be surpassing the 40 series mark in this vlog. Hey guys, very quickly before I run out of light completely, it's like 9 o'clock at night and I'm just in my window. It actually looked worse when I turned my bedroom light on, but I wanted to check in. Okay, I am on page 140. I'm not even at like a chapter ending to fill you in. I wanted to film this right now. I am loving this. The writing is beautiful. This is so toxic, so messy. I just want to slap the characters. Honestly, they're very flawed, semi-unlikable characters, but because of the writing, and not just like this, the writing is beautiful, it's so compelling. And then there's certain, like in the flashbacks, it's like the characters are speaking to you. I'm just loving everything about this, like as much as the things they're doing. So this is about Magnolia Parks and BJ, and they have this like all-consuming love for each other, but they are both very flawed, and they have this like, I hurt you so you hurt me, so I hurt you back, so then I hurt you, like back and forth, and they just can't ever get their shit together, right? But yet they won't let each other go. Like they still have this like fiery passion that is both love and a hatred and back and forth and crying and all of the things. And the things they're doing, because they're adults, they're like mid-20s. You're just like, why are you acting like that? Or like BJ will do something, be like, oh, I never really even considered Magnolia in that instance, but then I went and I told her the next morning just to like see the hurt on her face, sort of thing. And I am totally seeing the Gossip Girl vibe, like very, is it like Chuck and Blair? I haven't watched that in so long. We're like constantly hurting each other back and forth, and like they're not together, but they're still like, everyone knows that like they're a duo, like not like together boyfriend girlfriend, but like with BJ comes Magnolia and vice versa. It's just such an interesting dynamic. The found family friendship group dynamic is also really interesting, and there's some like unlikely, like, what am I trying to say, like loyalty ties. Like certain people you would think might be loyal to BJ but is actually on like Magnolia's side, and like I don't know what to say beyond that. It's just gorgeous. And I'm like loving and hating every minute of it. Like hating it because I'm just like, what are you doing? And I know that's going to be the same way through all these books. Where like, did you really do that again, BJ? Magnolia, why can't you just get a backbone? Why don't you just tell them this? Why did you have to go? It's like passive aggression to the extreme. Like I cannot picture, unless it was like a Blair Waldorf, real human beings behaving in this way. Does that make sense? Like I can't even imagine, even 15, 16-year-old me wasn't as vindictive as this cast of characters is. But it's just so compelling. Like I read 140 pages like it was nothing. Granted, there's some mixed media, like some text messages. Also, the font is just quite large, but I'm just like turning the pages so fast. Can't stop reading. I'm going to go read more now. Emmett picked such a good book. He says he loves the deer and the wolf on the cover. So I guess that's why he picked it. He also like, it's a new day. Today he tried to pick me another book. I was like, I'm not done this book yet. So he is just having a great time pulling books off of my book cart for me to read. And then he said, you like the book? I said, yeah, dude, I'm loving this book that you picked for me. He said, okay, good. So we're best friends now. Yeah, buddy, we are. Hey guys, I am now halfway through Magnolia Parks and I wanted to check in. And my God, this is toxic. I'm still having a really great time in watching a reality show, like train wreck entertainment type of way. You know what I mean? And the writing in here is lovely, though I have seen a few like typos, which happens sometimes with indie books. I just don't like that. Also, since the last time I spoke to you in this reading vlog, the new covers have been released. They like special edition covers, which I feel like that was not clear because I panic bought the other 3 books that were out, which I will show you in a moment. But apparently I didn't need to panic buy them. These are just a special run and you will always be able to get the original covers. So I don't really like how they did that, but anyways, I do not like the new covers at all. They look just like Gossip Girl vibes, which this book is Gossip Girl vibes, but I feel like the new covers are a bit too on the nose, if you know what I mean. And I almost feel like cheapens the series because this makes it so unique. All right, we now have Emmett here. I'm liking BJ less and less in the jealousy like hold he keeps on Magnolia, even though he does all kinds of awful things to her. He's like continues to string her along in ways, and I really hate that. But I think the character work in here is really fascinating as well, and overall I'm having a great time so far. I did want to share the other books I bought. We'll do a little mini book haul, if you will. So I was able to get book 2, which is Daisy Hates, and book 3, which is The Long Way Home, which is the second part of Magnolia's story. I was able to find these on Amazon. They were like sold out everywhere. I had to find them in like a really ass backwards way. But I am happy I was able to get these. So like these just look so nice. But then I could not find The Great Undoing, the second book for Daisy Hates. But then I found this on Poshmark, and the reason for selling was like didn't arrive on time or whatever. I got it. This is the UK edition. I'm super annoyed. It's a different dimension. It's this weird glossy cover, and it's a completely different size. I really hate the way the seller did this. I was like, didn't arrive in time? Bet. It arrived and you realize it didn't match the rest of your series. Then like I couldn't tell from just the cover that like the dimensions were wrong. She didn't even have the dimensions in the listing. So this is how they look on my shelf, which is going to drive me absolutely bonkers. So anyways, back on track. I am enjoying the first book in the Magnolia Parks universe. Emmett picked a great one. I love the covers, and I think this is just going to be so messy. Something that happened around chapter 25-ish I did not see coming at all. And Allison from the Bookish Mama actually started a buddy read thing on Fable, a text chat buddy read app thing, and Magnolia Parks was a book that they chose. So it's been nice to kind of have discussions chapter by chapter as I feel like it as well. It's just like a coincidence. So I'm going to check in on the buddy read chat now too and continue reading. I would love to get that finished in the next day or so. finished. Guess I can come down a little closer now. I'm so conflicted on this book. I think the writing in here is beautiful. This is a toxic dumpster fire of a relationship, and the characters make awful choices again and again. And yet I liked it in like a reality TV kind of way. There are a few quotes in here. I wasn't annotating, but I kind of wish that I was, because now I don't even remember what page it was on. I'm going to read you this paragraph. It maybe has like slight minor spoilers. It's in chapter 60 out of 68, but it's something that really spoke to me. So it says, "And he isn't mine completely. I know that. I know he loves someone else, but so do I. And maybe that's okay, because maybe you do get more than one love in a lifetime. Maybe BJ is the great love of my life, not because he's great, but because he's been defining. And maybe Tom will be the redeeming love of my life, and maybe that's better." That really spoke to me, because this is going to be like TMI. Before my husband, I was in a very toxic, all-consuming type of relationship that was awful for both of us, and yet it was like, in this book, Magnolia and BJ describes like being magnets. You're just like in this orbit, pushing each other apart, pulling together, and being really bad for each other, yet not being able to fully let go, if that makes sense, until the self-preservation part of your brain finally kicks in and cuts ties permanently, even though it feels like you have cut off an arm. And it takes a long time to recover from that. And I remember people in my life just like not understanding that at all. But that is how that felt. And I am so happy to be out of that now. But at the time, it felt kind of like this. Not nearly to this fictional degree, and definitely not like the spoiled rich kid part of it. But the toxicity, the being together, being apart, hurting each other, and yet never, and hurting others because you just can't let that person go. And I related to that a lot. And reading this book kind of felt validating in ways, which also just feels really awful. I don't know. I'm very conflicted. Like I said, I loved the writing, and the characters are just like so insufferable. But yet I loved reading about them. And they're not supposed to be likable, right? This almost feels kind of like a character study in a way. So I think I'm landing on a 4-star. It definitely did not give me 5-star feels. And while I don't feel like I loved this for a lot of parts, I feel like it was just really well written, and giving it a 3 feels not good enough, if that makes any sense. And honestly, I'm really excited for book 2. Glad I bought the whole series. Because Daisy Hates really intrigues me. We only see her for very small moments within this book, and I know the storylines kind of mirror each other, but the Hates family is very intriguing, so I'm looking forward to that as well. Overall, I'm just very conflicted on this. I know I'm rambling a lot, but yeah. I finished the book that Emmett chose for me, and now for this vlog I have the book that Wyatt chose for me, which is The Gilded Wolves. Hello vlog. I don't even remember the last time I filmed a clip for this vlog. It completely just fell off my radar basically. But as you will have seen, it is a beautiful rainy, stormy, thunder, lightning kind of day, which means I'm totally in the mood to pick up The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi. This is the book that Wyatt picked for me to read. It is a YA fantasy with a heist subplot. It's been compared a lot to Six of Crows, but those who I know who have read both say like, yes, they're both YA fantasy, they both have found family, they both have a heist subplot, but they're actually not as similar as maybe that makes them sound. And I love the sound of rain. I just want to be so cozy with a blanket next to an open window and read. I don't know how far I'll be able to get today. I do have some other filming I'm just about to do now. Ooh, I forgot that I really dislike the feeling of deckled edges when I'm reading, but that's okay. I got this edition from Owl Crate. Ooh, that's pretty. Silver foiling. And it is, that's the author's note, 384 pages, which I feel like is shorter than I was expecting. So I feel like I can read this really fast and finally get this vlog out to you guys. I read the first 2 books for this vlog months ago. I'm so sorry. Let's get reading. Hey guys, checking in. I've read part 1 of The Gilded Wolves, putting me at page 59. I'm like 5 chapters in maybe, and I'm intrigued. I definitely am seeing a lot more Six of Crows references already. I'm confused. This is found family, and we're thrown all of the characters. And so I'm still trying to pair up like who's who, whose abilities are what. So the magic in this world is called forging, and it's like the manipulation of, there's like mind and matter, and everyone has like a certain affinity. So like one of the members of this ragtag crew has an affinity for metals, another one has an affinity towards plants, things like that. And I didn't realize this is a first printing or a signed first edition for Owl Crate, which is kind of cool. And so our cast of characters have already stolen something from the Orders, which the Orders is like this secret society, but like all rich people who are stealing from other cultures. And it's kind of like, I guess, the criminal underbelly, if you know what I mean, of the society. It's also set in France, which I didn't remember before starting it, which is fun. And I'm very intrigued. They have found something that has significant value if they can figure it out. It's kind of giving me, whereas like Six of Crows was a heist involving, I don't want to spoil anything, I guess. This is giving more like the Da Vinci Code or maybe like Indiana Jones vibes, where like they're getting these artifacts maybe, but oftentimes there's like a code to unravel in order to like understand its true value. I'm not sure if I'm making any sense because I'm also confused my own self while reading this, but I'm intrigued. We are preparing for Hurricane Lee now. If the weather could stop, that'd be great. Ooh, like, and you can see the codes and things. Is there another one that they're working to solve? Like, there's visuals involved, which I like as well. I'm intrigued. I'm excited to continue. I'm still confused, but it's going well so far. I think I'm going to check in one more time around the 50% mark, and see how I'm making out. But it's been a really fast read so far. Hello, popping in with an update for the Gilded Wolves. I'm now on page 202, so a little over halfway, and I'm really enjoying this. It's a lot of fun. The imagery in here is so crazy. Like, if you can imagine it, you can forge it. So they're able to just like transform spaces within their home or properties, affecting how things look, and not like an illusion, like they're literally transforming their spaces through forging. And I just find that so interesting, and I love the like planning of the heist along with like all of the members of the crew. It's so well thought out, and we're not really told in advance. Like, we're in the midst of executing one of their plans, and it's a surprise to you as a reader, as you know, so and so was placed in this room and they need to sneakily get this and then hand it off to so and so. And I don't know, I'm just having a lot of fun with it. It is, the forging, I feel like, doesn't necessarily have enough rules for this to be like a 5-star for me. I'm really enjoying it. It's feeling like a 4-star, but the forging kind of feels limitless. Like, it doesn't really take anything out of the person who's forging, so it's not like the cap is, you know, on their energy or anything like that. Like, there doesn't seem to be any consequences to the magic. It's just like, oh, this person is really good at making or like dealing with flowers and landscaping, so he creates these like moving topiaries, and careful with the water bottle, all these poisonous plants that are like as tall as the ceiling now, or these vines that creep up to you and hand you your glass of wine. But I don't know if I'm making any sense. There just doesn't seem to be any actual rules to the magic. Like I said, if you can imagine it, it can be done. Which is still a lot of fun. It's just not like a favorite magic system for me, if that makes sense. Like I said, we are in the middle of one of their plans. I'm really curious on how this will turn out. Also, our inside man to the order, who they have teamed up with, or like kind of got ensnared with, really, like in a blackmailing situation, he seems very far removed from our characters, and you'd think that would be understandable because of who he is, but then you realize that he's actually like the same age as them, or like around there. Like, they knew each other in childhood, and they're like in their late teens. So I just find Hypno's persona a little odd once you pair that with knowing he's like, I don't know, 17, 18 years old. It seems a little weird. There was one other thing I wanted to mention. Oh, the discussions on culture and like racism in here. So like I said before, this is set in France, and the big bad is like the orders, the elite. It's like secret society kind of situation, and they don't like other. So our found family here is a wide range of cultures, races. They're from different countries. Some of them are mixed race, and that is seen as not okay. And I'm liking the exploration on like how it feels to our main characters when the orders want to exploit their culture for the sake of entertainment, or you don't belong with us because your skin is darker than ours. And it's really talked about from our main characters' perspectives on like how that's making them feel, if that makes sense, and their hope for change in the future as well. I don't know. I'm having a great time reading this YA fantasy book. I'm reading it so quickly and I don't want to stop. I'm in the middle of 3 books and this is the one that I keep wanting to pick up, which is shocking because I'll tell you, I'm also reading Kingdom of Ash, which is a reread, and Manacled by Sen Lin Yu. Both of those are very hard, like emotionally taxing reads. So this is the one I'm turning to for like the good feelings. I don't know. I'm really liking it so far. I foresee myself liking it right up until the end, but I will check in when I finish this and to wrap up this reading vlog. I just finished The Gilded Wolves. This was the book that Wyatt chose for me, and I really had a great time reading this. I gave it 4 stars. The plot twist at the end, oh, I just want to cry. And then at the very, very end, the cliffhanger, I actually feel called to, like, probably from the library, get the second book in this series because I just want to know what happens. When I dedicated time to this, I read through it so fast, like I would fly through 50 pages like nothing and just be surprised at the page count when I set the book down again, if that makes sense. This was a lot of fun, and it is how I described it. It's kind of a blend between like Six of Crows and more of like, what was my reference a few days ago? Like the Da Vinci Code or like Indiana Jones, like adventure, clues, artifacts, things like that. And my main critique remained the same, that there weren't enough limits to the magic or the forging as they called it, in my opinion. And I feel like we didn't get to know and understand the villain of the story that well in this book, but he is going to be prevalent, I'm assuming, based on how this ended, in the sequel. So I'm really intrigued to continue. I am very sad about the events that occurred near the end of this book. And I would like to know more about Zofia, Zofia. She is from Poland, I believe, and I would guess it is not said in any way that she is on the spectrum somehow. She really does not understand a lot of certain conversational things like sarcasm. She doesn't like jokes. Sometimes someone will gift her something or say something to her and she just doesn't know how to respond. Or if you're in her perspective, you'll think like, saying this is not sufficient. What should I say? I can't think of it. I don't know if that makes any sense. She's very particular about certain things like fabrics that she wears. She compulsively counts things. I would just like to know more about how her mind works. Does that make any sense? I really like the characters in here, and yeah, I want to continue. So that's my mini review of The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi, and this is the book that Wyatt chose for me. And to recap, I really loved all the books that my kids chose for me, and I kind of feel like they should do this again. You'll have to let me know if you want me to do this again as a vlog, and I could not forget about it for months and actually get through it faster than this time. I liked that they chose off my TBR cart because these were all books I was interested in, but I would also be open to the idea of just letting them choose anything off of my bookshelves, but that could be very chaotic. So mini recap, Max chose Spy X Family Volume 1 for me because he has read the first 5 of them and he really wants me to read them and then we can chat about them. I've actually already continued on the series. I've read Volume 2 as well and I'm really enjoying this. I gave the first one 5 stars. I gave the second one 4 stars. Still really liked it. And Emmett chose Magnolia Parks for me by Jessa Hastings because he loved the cover and I do too. I much prefer these covers over the new ones and I really enjoyed this book too. I believe I gave it 4 stars. And I actually was supposed to pick up Daisy Hates in September, but I haven't yet. but I'm looking forward to continuing on with this as well. Jessa Hastings' writing is stunning. I loved it so much. This book was kind of aggravating to read at times, but like on purpose. So I really did enjoy this one as well. And I did pre-order Jessa Hastings' new book coming out in December, Never, which is a Peter Pan retelling. I am so excited for that book. It has its own Instagram, and like the inspo pictures, I drool over every time they put a new one. The cat is trying to steal my books from, I had the Gilded Wolves between my knees while I held on to these two. Anyways, to recap, my kids chose great books for me. I'm going to continue all of these series, even though they did force me to start 3 new series, which I really didn't need. I'm loving all 3 of them. This was great. I'm so happy to finally finish this reading vlog, and I'm going to edit it today. So hopefully you'll be seeing it today or tomorrow. If you enjoyed this reading vlog, don't forget to give it a thumbs up so that I know, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.